7:55, checking in with Mike Yanni. He's hanging out at the Sait Culinary Campus downtown this morning, getting tips and tricks with respect to using barbecues. But you're doing something now, Mike, that I don't think a lot of people consider as a barbecue type of thing.
No, exactly. And Ted, I think you're a big oyster fan, if I remember correctly. And you know what? A lot of people who love oysters, they're used to eating them one way. You crack them open, you slurp them, and away you go. You're done. Chef Steve Lepine with Sait Culinary Campus is going to show us another way to eat them, which is on the barbecue. Not many people probably do this because they probably don't know how to do it properly.
That's probably very correct, Mike, for sure. You know what? At the end of the day, they're quite easy. And the nice thing is there's less chance you're actually going to injure yourself because you're not shucking them, right?
There you go.
So you're just going to put them on the grill and let them do their thing.
So this is the finished product here. We're going to go back in time to the beginning here. Cameraman Nick, come to this side so you can see what we're doing on this side. Let's start from the beginning. When you bring oysters home.
Yes.
Wash them, don't wash them.
I always like to wash my oysters, okay? Cold water, okay? Quick with a brush, scrubby, something they have that's clean. They can get all that kind of dirt, sand, and shells off, whatever's kind of kicking on those.
Okay.
And again, put them in the fridge. Okay, try to use them up as quickly as possible when you get them in.
How long can they last in the fridge?
Oysters can last in good conditions up to a month. But that being said, they're best as soon as you can eat them. Okay. So I got some oysters here. These are a Miyagi oyster from the West Coast. So they've been cleaned and washed. And ideally, you just pop them onto the grill. Now, the grill's set on a high heat, as high as we'll go, because we want to cook these as quickly as possible.
So crank it.
Crank it up, okay? And they go on like this. And you can see how we have kind of a rounded part and a flat part. We want to put the rounded part on the base, okay? And I kind of set them in between the grill, so it creates a little bit of a nest.
It's a cradle.
Yeah. So, roughly, depending on the size of oyster, 3 to 5 minutes.
That's it.
Until they start to crack, pop open. So I got some here, Mike. And you can see how those have literally just popped open.
Yeah.
Okay. So with this, what I do is clean cloth, and if you have that shucker, you can use it, or a paring knife works great. And we're just going to come in here and remove the adductor muscle from the oyster. Okay. From there, we're going to put them back on the grill. Okay. And here I have just a little bit of garlic herb compound butter.
Nice.
And we're just going to put that back on just until the butter melts. Okay. So we're going to do another one here. So again, we just scrape that abductor muscle.
It's much easier to open the shells now.
And ideally, we want to keep that abductor muscle on here, right? That's that kind of chewy part to the oyster. Okay, and you can see a little bit of that beautiful brine still in there from the oyster, right? Leave that in there, right?
Don't spill that out.
That's all that beautiful flavor. Absolutely, right? And then a little bit of butter on, and then again, just until the butter is melted, which will probably take, you know, an extra 30 seconds or so. And then I usually just serve it on, again, we want to serve it on something warm, so we don't want to serve it on ice, where if you get those chilled oysters, that's how you get it. So I do it on a little bit of bed of salt, so that way they don't move and kind of all that beautiful butter slides all over your plate.
Can you experiment with what you put in there? Instead of butter, could you put some Tabasco, some vodka, or anything, whatever you want?
You know what? Bacon, in my opinion, is always good when you put anything with, pair it up with any food. So bacon, a little bit of brie cheese is good on there.
Okay. So there you go. That's how you do oysters on the barbecue. If you have any other questions for Chef Lepine, we're going to be periscoping again. If you follow at BT Calgary on Twitter, you'll see the tweet going out live on Periscope. And so we're going to ask Chef any questions you have on barbecuing, whether it's seafood, red meat, or anything like that, Ted, Tara. A fun way for our viewers to continue on asking questions for Chef, because our time is always very short when we have him on the show. So make the most out of it. Put him to work.
And he's such a fantastic resource, as are all of the chefs at Sait.